Chapter 17. Burn the Others. A hot shower. Hands down, the most glorious thing he had experienced with his new abilities. Every drop brought exhilarating overload to his senses. From the temperature of the water, a perfect 106 degrees, to the impact of it on the back of his neck. Everything about this shower was heavenly. To be able to feel the water drag the dirt and blood away from his skin was beyond refreshing. There were so many drops that he could hardly count half of them. His mind finally resolved to measure gallons per second instead of counting each and every drop. Sam had never really taken a shower in a place this nice. His shithole of an apartment was nothing compared to the 5-star hotel that Michael got them into. As they walked in the front door, not a single person looked at Sam's blood-covered attire. The front desk greeted Michael with a smile and gave him the penthouse suite for the price of asking. As they got off the elevator, the hotel manager greeted them with a smile and personally escorted them to the door. The room was far plusher than a poor slob like Sam could ever have expected. Truly the lap of luxury. White walls and white carpet. Durable and embellished couches and chairs populated the room instead of the cheaply made, poorly upholstered ones you might find on the lower floors. Sam didn't want to guess what this room cost per night. Michael sent him to the shower straight away before he even got a chance to explore the rest of the massive room. The bathroom itself was divided into 3 rooms, one for shitting, one for showering, and one for shaving. All 3 combined were larger than his entire apartment. There were plush bathrobes and more towels than he could use in a week, and a tub that sat next to the shower. If there was a heaven, this was it. The steam from his hour-long shower filled the oversized room and made it difficult to see the opposite side when he got out. Though the luxuriousness of this place was bliss, he still felt uncomfortable and out of place. He couldn't shake the feeling that the police were going to bust in at any moment and kick him out. Even worse, he had become a bit paranoid with his heightened sense of awareness and felt the military was going to kick the door in and try to off him. Looking down at the floor, he saw a pile of putrid clothing. Just the sight of them sent him on a roller coaster rerun of the day. He had woken up covered in blood, sliced his hands open, fought an angel, found out he died and was resurrected as a god, found out he killed over 30 people the night before, killed some more people today, jumped across the street from one window of one building through the window of another, got into a high-speed chase with a helicopter, and the best part of it all, he was still alive. Action movies couldn't even compare to that. Schwarzenegger is a bitch, he thought to himself. Looking at his skin, he saw no scars. The gunshot to his leg was little more than a red dot. His hands were completely healed. It was as though he had never even been cut. In fact, he had no marks on his body of any kind. The mild but ever so annoying case of acne that covered his shoulders was gone. The odd mole that was just below his navel and the weird split hair growing from it disappeared. With it, any trace of body hair. He was as bare as a baby's ass. He was pleased, however, that he still had facial hair, the perfect 5 o'clock shadow. Not even his now superior mind could make sense of how that happened. Those were not the only changes he noticed. Sam was shredded. He was in relatively good shape yesterday, but today he was a fine specimen of a man. All of his muscles were very well defined and a bit larger than normal. A perfect body looked like this, and he was cool with that. All of these things were mere distractions from the real things he needed to think about. What was next? You can't do what he had done in the past 24 hours and stay in the same place. Ascending God or not, there were always consequences for one's actions. Today's actions would no doubt bring severe consequences. He was going to have to leave. That was a no-brainer. Michael mentioned earlier that he was going somewhere cold. But where? Sam had no qualms about leaving this city. He had always thought that there were too many hipsters here any goddamn way. The crime was bad, cops were dicks, rent was high, and the weather sucked. In fact, there was only one anchor he had here: Julia. The events of the day had not quelled this young man's burning desire to be with her. If anything, his ascension made the love that he had for her twice as strong. He now had the courage and confidence she was looking for. If he had even the slightest chance of winning her heart, it was now. Assuming she was okay with being with a mass-murdering demigod and his overly sarcastic angel sidekick. Even if he managed to convince her that murdering dozens of people was not his original plan for the day, how would he keep her safe? Malice was now a thing that had to be dealt with, and he didn't want that monster anywhere near her. He also wasn't keen on the idea of having the military shoot at him while she was around. What if she were shot? That was enough to tell him what he needed to do. He needed to leave. Though it pained him to think about it, he was going to have to leave and never be around her again. At least, that's what a logical person would do. This was not what a man in love was going to do. He was resolved to leaving. However, a proper confession of his love was in order. She was worth the risk. Sam stepped out of the bathroom into the massive space of the super plush hotel room. Laid out on the bed was a brand new outfit. A stylish pair of overly expensive but comfortable jeans, a t-shirt that probably cost way too much money, socks, and a new pair of shoes. On them was a note, written in the most perfect handwriting that Sam had ever laid eyes on. It said, "Burn the others. Order some food. I'll be back in a few hours. Michael."